All right, so we are now live on Facebook. Welcome everybody to the U-Turn Show. And we're going to start the radio broadcast in about 3 to 4 minutes. I have a special guest here, so let me share this so it'll be going to your page. Okay, let's see where we at.
I'm back.
Okay, you back? All right. So we got about 2 minutes before the show start. And you got a little feedback. I got a little feedback. Yeah, you got a little feedback.
I didn't have it at first. What about now?
All right.
You still hear it?
Do you hear me feeding back? No, you fine now.
Okay, so you don't hear no feedback now?
No, I don't.
Okay, cool.
And I'm gonna go ahead and so I did share it to your page so whoever looking on your page can see it.
Okay.
So welcome everybody that's joining on Facebook. We got about 2 minutes before the radio show starts. And we're gonna go. Let's see. All right. Are you here?
Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
All right, so we're about to start.
Can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Winterville, Ayden, Grifton, Southside, Greenville, North Carolina.
I'm trying to be a better man, but folks just don't understand. I'm trying to do all I can to deal with this addiction in me. Lord, I don't want to change. I can't stay the same. But the sins that in my vein is trying its best just to kill me.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the U-Turn Show. I am your host, Richard Taylor, and you're listening to WBIS 106.9 FM LP on your FM dial. This is Awesome Radio. Make sure you go to the website, wbisawesomeradio.org, and download the apps, Google Play, Alexa, and also on the Apple Store. Also, welcome to our guests listening on Facebook. Definitely a pleasure to have you guys. And don't forget to call in to this interactive show. The call-in number is 252-756-2008. Definitely give honor to God for allowing us to be here today. I see that we do have a lot of people gathering in the room. And once again, the U-Turn Show highlights individuals who may have overcome some trials and tribulations in life. So we highlight those. And then we also highlight the transition and also the transformation. So I do have a very special guest. I want to welcome our guest today, Miss Krisha Fussell. How you doing?
Hello. I'm great.
All right. And Miss Fussell is from my hometown of Goldsboro, North Carolina. I've heard her name a lot throughout the years, but I've just recently been able to interact with her, and she's a very special woman with a great heart. And just let me say this, is it Krisha or Keisha?
It's Krisha.
Krisha Fussell.
Well, when I was coming up, everybody used to call me Keisha because when I was in like younger ages, like third and fourth grade, nobody could pronounce my name. So I used to say, just call me Keisha, just call me Keisha. So everybody in Goldsboro knows me as Keisha, but my name is Krisha.
Okay, so I'm not the only one though. So definitely, man.
No,
So
you're not the only one.
yeah, so I thank you for joining, and of course, this is the U-Turn Show. We talked a little bit about, so we just going to get right in, man. We only have an hour to talk about a lot of subjects. So, first of all, you grew up in Goldsboro. How was it coming up in Goldsboro? Do you your family life, your home life, brothers and sisters? How was it coming up as a child?
Well, when I originally coming up in Goldsboro, for me it was fun. The time has changed a lot now, but back then it was me and my mother, and it was my two sisters. So it was three ladies and one woman, which was my mom. And our life was pretty good. I mean, back then it was, if you did wrong, the neighbor would spank you, you got up on Saturday mornings and you went outside and you stayed outside all day. Your mom cleaned up, So me growing up as a child, I didn't have a bad childhood at all. It was actually pretty decent for what it was, from what I know now. And what I see now in the world, it was 100% better at this point, then, basically, than it is now. But it was pretty good.
Okay, all right, okay. And I always ask my you're actually probably about my second or third female guest, but of course, I always talk about, to my male guests, the importance of fatherhood. So, do you have any information that you want to share about your father, or how that?
Absolutely.
You mentioned, my mother, your mother.
Yeah, my mother was actually married to my father, but my father was absent from my life most of my life. To be honest with you, I did not reconnect with my father until I was 30. I think I was about 34. And this is the crazy thing. Yeah, this is the crazy thing. I was 34. I was in a transition where I wanted to get up with him, but I wasn't at the place that I needed to be able to overcome the obstacles that we had. And what happened was, make a long story short, my daughter's father, he had heard me talking about my dad, and he was saying that he wanted to help me find my dad. Mm-hmm. So when he came home one day, he said, I'm going to help you find your father. I said, really? He said, yes. He said, I've been looking on the website and I see this website. It's $275. He said, but you get one search for $2.50. We went and got everything set up. And to make a long story short, we found them. There was two people that came up, and the first person that he called was my dad. And I hadn't seen my dad since I was 2 years old.
Okay.
And we reconnected, and he came into my life for a brief time. And I say a brief time because I didn't feel, because I was angry and I wasn't mature enough to have the conversation with him that I wanted to have, that I didn't feel he was putting the work in that I thought we should put in to build a relationship. And then with me having a son, I'm thinking he should say, okay, well, I wasn't there for my daughter. Let me just try to be there for my grandson. And he wasn't. And so we had a major falling out. And believe it or not, before him and I could even reconnect, he passed away.
My condolences.
He passed away, and it was a major, major lesson for me. It was I hurt and I cried and I went through a season because God allotted me a couple of years to get to know my father, and I was so busy, stuck in the anger and not really knowing how to communicate how I was feeling so we could get past that. And I allowed that to distance me. When he was trying to come close, I was kind of pushing him away, and he ended up passing away before we were ever even able to really just sit down and come to a resolve and me to express the way that I felt.
Oh, okay. So, so that normally in households without men, there's a lot more freedom than with one. So, as you grew up, how did your life, turn, as far as, going down the wrong road?
Well, the thing about my mom is she's the type of person where she would always let us do things. Mm-hmm. She was strict, but she realized that we needed to grow as well. So back then, they don't have that stuff now, but they had the little dances at this Dillard High School, Dillard School, and, little things that you can go to in a little event. She did let us, go to those events and things like that. I think my turn came when I got older. And I got to the place that I wanted to make my own decisions. And then growing up in a single parent home, she did the best she could to provide for us some of the things that we needed, but it wasn't everything that we wanted as far as the material things and things like that. And my first relationship that I was in was with a man that was actually a drug dealer.
Okay.
Now mind you, before he came into play, I was smoking a little reefer in the park and doing what kids do. Yep. But it wasn't to the point that I was thinking about hanging on the block and selling drugs and all about $1 until I actually came in contact with him.
Oh, okay. So then that relationship gave you the mindset of a hustler as well. So did you ever take that step in there, or the start dealing or using or whatever?
Absolutely.
Hanging out.
Absolutely. It got to a place where there comes a time when someone is always giving you nice gifts and taking you places and doing nice things for you that you're not used to, that when things kind of start fall by the wayside, you say, well, look, he ain't really doing nothing but standing on the block, so I can get my own money. You know what I'm saying? So basically that was just the beginning of me just getting to the point that I want to pretty much do my own thing, and him and I, we stayed together back and forth. We fought and we argued, and I embarrassed and humiliated myself a lot of times. I'm not honoring myself for who I was. But at that point in my life, I didn't really have too much of an option because I didn't know who I was.
Okay. So would you say, well, that's your late teens, your early 20s, somewhere?
My late teens, about 18, 19 is when I started really just doing me.
All right. And we also have something in common. I talked a lot about, my substance abuse issues. Mm-hmm. And, my particular drug was sniffing cocaine. Mm-hmm. And I think we talked about that as well. Mm-hmm. When did you develop a liking to that? Or, how did you get into that?
Well, the thing with me is that it was just what everybody was doing. And it's a funny thing, to be honest, I can't even remember the first time that I tried it.
Uh-huh.
It was just something that everybody was doing. I had my little clique, my girls, and we pretty much, and it started out as leisure because we hustled, we had the money, so it really wasn't a big thing. It started out as something that we just did for fun, and then we always know when you're doing substance abuse for fun, ends up being a recipe for disaster, but this is the thing about me, is that a lot of people, if I could turn back the hands of time, Richard, and I could do it all over again, I wouldn't change a thing.
You wouldn't?
I wouldn't change a thing.
And why do you say that?
Because everything that I went through brought me to the place that I am now. And this and everything that I've been through in my life, as far as the drug dealing, the drug using, the getting the weak guys. I'm just gonna call it prostitution. But let's just call a thing a thing. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Let's just call a thing a thing, because when you're giving your body to somebody because they have something to give you in return, it is prostitution. Let's just be real about it, And through all of that, it made me the person that I am today. And I say that because I am a survivor. And nobody can take that from me. I can look back over my life and I can see every opportunity that the devil had to take me out. And God always showed up and showed me how strong he was. Even when I didn't deserve it. Even when I didn't even know who he was, he still covered me. So that I say I wouldn't change it because it gave me what I have now. It gives me the ability to stand in my truth, unapologetically be who God called me to be. And I don't need anybody's approval. And I don't need anybody to say, well, she's not worthy. I know who I am in him, and all of that stems back from the first time that I made a conscious decision to go on my own to do something that was out of the will of God. And he continued to show me grace and show me mercy.
That's God right here. I'm going to just read a few comments. Brody Truck Slow said, big ups, Rich. Much continued success. Mm-hmm. He also said, what's going on, Miss K? Angela Wynn says, hey, sis. Mm-hmm. Truck Slow says, once again, big up to both movements and preach. Mm-hmm. Our sister Tracy Best says, amen. But God, Aletta Taylor, survivor, Tracy Best. Yes, God is faithful. Now, and something that we talked about, earlier, about you being to a point where you were so engrossed in your drug uses, but also God was working on you. How was He working on you at some of your lowest points?
Yeah, at my lowest point, I was sharing with you that I would snort powder and watch TD Jakes tapes. And it was the weirdest combination, but it was just like every time I got high, for some reason, I wanted to watch a TD Jakes tape. You know, back then there were VHS tapes. There wasn't any like CDs or anything like that. Okay. And I was sitting there and I would have my bag and all my little stuff that I needed, my beer, liquor, whatever else that I was indulging in. And I would sit there all night long and listen to TD Jakes tapes and snort powder.
Wow, and that's I think that's a form of conviction, because I used to go through the same thing, but I would turn on the gospel channel after everything was gone. You know what I'm saying? Then I would go to sleep, and I would go to sleep, and I would just listen to. I was like, Lord, please help me to stop doing this stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, but that's the way God, you know, kind of pulls you in. He works on you inside first before he starts to change you. So you also mentioned, okay, so you did eventually stop that. And
I did eventually.
How did you come on with it, sis? Sharon Lewis says, come on. Tracy Man said, God is grace and mercy. Carolyn Pickett said, God is faithful. Brody Truckham Slow said, I used to love it when it was your Sunday to teach at Greater St. God. So you actually taught, okay. All right, so he remembered. But so how did you eventually you know, get off of, you know, that cocaine that we talked about?
Now this is the weirdest thing, and I know a lot of people are not gonna believe me, but this is the truth. I was so over getting high. My nose was raggedy, it was bleeding. I had a whole lot going on. And I had gotten so high. I said, Lord, if you could just please remove this from me. I need help. You know, I'm just over it. And I stopped getting high when I started taking ecstasy pills. When I started taking ecstasy pills, and I realized that, okay, now when you snort powder, though, it's like a you know that, Richard, it's a trickling effect. It just ain't over till it's over. Yeah. It might be 2 days, might be 3 days. It all depends on what you're working with. You know what I'm saying? But I realized that I could spend I think they were about $25, $30 back then when ecstasy pills first came out. I could buy me an ecstasy pill. I could pop it in half. I could take half of it before I got to the club. About 12:30, 1 o'clock, I can take the other half, and I could literally party all night. I'm not jonesing, I'm not geeking, I'm not people not nowhere. I can go dance, I can go to the liquor house, and I could just, from my expectations, from what I was used to doing and from what I'm doing now, that was a step up for me, because I'm not spending all my money. I'm not somewhere 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning trying to call somebody to bring you another bag, you know. So that's how, when I stopped snorting cocaine, I took my first ecstasy pill, and I've never had another snort of cocaine again, and that was in 2020.
2000.
No, 2000, not 2020. That was 2000.
Yeah, 2000. Because I remember 2000 ecstasy pills came out, and that's what. And that is true. You didn't have to, you know, do it all night to keep you high. So that is and a lot of times people do that. They substitute one thing for the other. And let me get this comment. Keisha's K. Nichelle Smith said, please keep in mind that I'm staying up past my bedtime to hear this message. So, you know, and Tracy Beth says, you giving it to us raw. And Angela Wynn says, I love this. So how long did that lasted for a while, I assume, right? Because, you know,
it did. It lasted for a while.
Yeah. And how did you end up finally breaking away from that?
Well, I ended up getting saved. I had gotten married. And when I got married, then after I got married, I got saved. And it was just, I was at the place in my life at that time where I just needed to do something different, you know? And it didn't mean I didn't think my different wasn't God's different.
Okay,
you understand what I mean by that? God's difference was my calling, you know. He knew me before my mama met my daddy, you know, before I was even conceived in my mother's womb. He knew who I was, you know. He knows my story, you know. So I'm thinking I'm just trying to do it different because I'm tired, but I'm not knowing all the while it's the call, you know. So that's what really then I began to go to church, and one thing led to another, and I ended up getting saved. And we were doing street ministry back then, and we were going to people, knocking on people's doors that we knew, inviting them to Christ, bringing the pastor over there, letting him pray for them. And then I began ministering and, in the church and things like that. And I did that for a while. I know about maybe 7 or 8 years. But then I came down to the church folk politics, and it kind of took me in a whole nother direction, as far as I'm like, okay, Lord, if I'm going to do this, I might well take my chances out here in these streets. That's just the mentality I had, because so much was going on inside of the church.
Yeah. And that's what God calls us at. God calls us to the streets. God calls us to the ones that are lost. And a lot of times, we focus so much on the church congregation and what's going on in the church that we forget that we're not supposed to be just there for our little group. We're supposed to take our little group out and bring more people in. So I definitely feel and that Angela Wynn said, this is what the world needs. No matter what you have been and how far you have gone, God will use it all for his glory. And I see that you are these days using your trials and tribulations to help others. But we're going to get on that on the other side of the break because we only have about 1 minute and 50 seconds before we get a break. But let me add just one more question about what would you say was the lowest point of your life, if you can pick an instance or a time. What would you say was the lowest point?
Most people, they feel like when they hit their rock bottom, it's all about well, I didn't have any dope in my money. I mean, I had a place. I didn't drive for years, so I was able to get where I go. I never had a car because I didn't get my license until I was probably about 30 years old. So I had a place, I was hustling, doing my own thing. So it wasn't like, it was just to the place I hit. My rock bottom was basically with myself, as far as just being tired of being tired. I was tired of getting high. I was tired of staying up 2 or 3 days. I was tired of knowing that every time the weekend came or whenever I decided to get up with my girls, the end result was going to be hunting dope. I was just over it. So there was not a Big Bang Theory. Basically, it was like God just said, okay, enough is enough.
And I can relate to that because it's hard to see, when you don't hit that rock bottom, it's easy to keep going on. Like I always said, I wore a mask for a lot of years because I always, car, job, good clothes, kept myself up, but in the inside I was dying. So I definitely relate to that. We're here with Krisha Fussell. We're here with the U-Turn Show. Thank you guys all for tuning in. We're going to take a station break with the radio station W106.9 FM, and we'll be back in about a minute. Thank you so much.
Does your church have insurance for that youth activity you're about to do? Stay tuned.
Ministry leaders, take note. Attorney David Jr. has some legal advice you'll want to put into practice. Here he is with today's Legal Alert.
If your church is planning an unusual youth event, such as weapons training at a gun range, whitewater rafting, a bow shoot during a wild game party, or an all-terrain vehicle party, check with your insurance agent to make sure the event will be covered by your liability insurance policies. Many of these unusual events are not covered. Many policies exclude coverage for weapons, motorized vehicles, or water is involved. Therefore, one accident could potentially result in huge liability for your ministry. If your policy does not cover these activities, change your plans. Be sure what you're doing has insurance to back it up.
Get the legal support you need for the issue that you're facing. The Christian Law Association stands by to assist you with free legal support. Visit christianlaw.org. Again, christianlaw.org. Or call us directly at 888-252-1969. That's 888-252-1969.
Soft tissue, millions of years old? This is Ken Ham, often interviewed on radio and TV on the Bible's reliability. In the evolutionary worldview, there's no way humans and dinosaurs lived together. Evolutionists believe dinosaurs died out millions of years before we came along. But have they really been dead that long? Well, scientists are increasingly finding soft tissue in dinosaur fossils. Things like blood vessels, proteins, and collagen fibers have been found in fossils thought to be millions of years old. But soft tissue doesn't last that long. It can't be millions of years old. As our Creation Museum teaches, dinosaurs were buried during the global flood just thousands of years ago. Yes, it's the Bible that explains fossils.
There's so much more to discover when you go to AnswersRadio.com and subscribe to receive free daily email insights from Ken Ham when you visit us at AnswersRadio.com.
This is Awesome Radio, WBIS LP 106.9.
Lord, I hope this ain't your plan for me to die up in these streets. Oh Lord, can you help me?
Welcome back, 106.9 FM Awesome Radio. I am your host, Richard Taylor, here with a special guest, mighty woman of God, Krisha Fussell. I'm gonna keep saying Krisha, but a couple of more comments. Tracy Beth said the world is looking for the truth. Angela Wynn says she's so proud of you. Edward and Kimoka Harris says awesome. Doug Brody says keep up the good work. I knew it was you, Doug. Angela Wynn is very so we were talking about pretty much the transition and how you are now, you know, kind of using your testimony to inspire others. How important it is to, you know, to kind of be transparent, because a lot of people don't want to talk about, you know, their past and be as forthright. But how important it is that, you know, not only for yourself, but only for others?
Well, to me, it's very important because I am who I am because God is who he is, you know. It's nothing about me that's so good or great. It's only by his grace and his mercy, you know. So the Bible tells us we're overcame by our testimony. So the more I tell my testimony, the more closer I'm able to get to him, and the more things that I'm able to overcome. See, this is my thing, Richard. There's nobody that can hang a noose around my neck. I'm an open book. You know, like I said, I am who I am because God is who he is. I'm not ashamed of anything I've been through, anything I went through, anything that I'm going through, because I know in the end that this is just a process. You know, you got to always trust the process, and you have to go through what you have to go through. And it's okay as long as in the end you get the lesson and you can move a little further. Yeah. You know?
And I see my sister Tracy Best keep saying woman to woman, we stand in our truth. So how does that apply to what you're doing right now and the vision that you have started? Explain to people what you do as far as.
From Woman to Woman is a nonprofit organization that I have, me and my team, because I don't do it alone. It's not a one-man show by any means necessary. It takes a group of us, you know, to get it done. And it's a nonprofit organization. And what we do is we have expos, and I have speakers come in, and we speak about real life things. And when she say stand in the truth, that's what we're all about. We're all about being unapologetically who you are, you know, and standing in your truth and telling the truth. You know, we say telling the truth is about your experience, where you are, whose you are, your struggles, your heartache, your disappointments, your letdowns, your backstabs, you know, being left for dead, forgot about, cast down, you know, your depression, suppression, oppression, not feeling worthy, you know, and we're all about standing right there in that thing and calling it what it is.
Okay, preach, sis, Sharon Lou. So you recently had an event where you told me about, where there was a lot of healing, you know, by the testimony of a few people. Could you get the people? I know you can't go into details, you know, because you said that is a private thing, private healing. But tell the people a little bit how you do that. And
yeah. Well, what I do is that I try to, everything I do, I try to be led. I try to be led by God. And what we did is we created a platform where I have speakers coming in, and they give testimonies. The first one I did was in 2018. It was the Woman in the Mirror Conference. Then the one I did in August the 25th, it was Push Through My Pain. And then this one, I have another one coming up, which it will be emceeing, which will be in November the 20th, and it will be When Men Talk. And it's basically about men. It's basically about women being in an environment that we can hear the truth. You know, now one thing like Tracy said about woman to woman, we're all about telling the truth. And a lot of times in this man-woman relationship thing, we feel that we're getting done wrong and everything is the man's fault. But when you're transparent and you're able to look at things on the other side of the spectrum, you'll get a better understanding of what you need to do in order to clean yourself up, and it'll make things better as far as in your relationship, familyship, friendship. But it's mostly about just being able to get some information without being in a church setting, because in a church setting, you know, you kind of have to monitor the things that you say. We're going to have Q&A where you're going to get to ask the hard questions. You know, I have 3 men that's more than capable of giving, you know, us the answers that we need. Charles, he's a bishop. He's actually been married to his wife for over 30 years. You know, I have John Lane, which is going to also speak, and then I have D.L. Pennington, and they all have their own little spin on what they're going to be advising us on. I love D.L.'s subject because his is the negative influence of insecurities. You know, and that's us all day long. It's just showing us it's showing us what our insecurities, how the negative influences are impacting the way we think, in the way we talk, in the way we live, in the way we process things, because we have negative influences. We have insecurities, which is going to bring a negative influence. So it's going to be amazing. That's on November the 20th, which that will be the one that you're going to be emceeing for me. And I just want the ladies to come out, and if you're married, if you're single, if you're looking for love, you're going to find out what you need to do to make your marriage last a little longer, what you need to do on your part to try to work through some of those things. If you're single and you feel like that every time you meet a guy, he's a buster, they're going to let you know why. You know, and we're gonna work on them insecurities to get you in a place where you have confidence to know who you are, so you don't have to keep attracting these bums.
Definitely. Tracy says, welcome to the family. I thank y'all. And Angela Wynn said, that's good. So you talking right. And also you also have a heart for women who are not even, I wouldn't say looking for love, but they're looking to be more stable. You know, you have a heart for the less fortunate. Where does that heart come from?
I am giving a conference in Goldsboro on January, where we are giving a conference. I try to keep the word I out because it's not about me. We are a team. On January the 22nd, and the subject is, I am not my sister's keeper, I am my sister. Subtopic, this is not your final destination. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the projects, and we're going to get the girls, and we're going to give out the tickets, and everything is going to be free. And that comes because I am she and she is me. You know, I was just talking on the phone to a friend of mine tonight, and I said, you know what? I said, I wonder what would have happened or conspired in my life is when I was living in Green Acres, if a lady would have knocked on my door and loved me through my mess. If she would have told me, regardless of what it looked like, baby, you can still make it. If she would have given me the opportunity to be unapologetically who I am with all my issues and embrace me anyway. She won't hit me upside the head with the Bible. She was letting me know that I was somebody in Jesus. You know, and opening up my heart and giving me the opportunity to find out a way to do it different. You know, I wonder what would have happened in my life. What would have been different in my life if somebody just would have knocked on my door and gave me the opportunity to do it different. And that's what we're going to do. That's why we did the plate sale the other Saturday. And I just cannot see God blessing me and taking my life from what the devil meant for my bad. Because, see, he already had it planned out. On what he was going to do. You understand where I'm coming from? And if he had his way, I done been shot, Richard. I done been strung out on drugs, anything that you can possibly name. I've been the type of person, I could meet a guy on Friday at the club, and on Saturday he had me in New York somewhere. I don't know him from a can of paint. God has kept me.
Yeah.
You know, he has kept me. I would be doing a disjustice to him and myself, not to go back and tell and get somebody, grab them by the hand and say, baby, it's going to be all right. There's a better way that we can do this thing. And I'm not just going to tell you about it.
Yeah. And not with a judgmental spirit, but
absolutely.
With a spirit of understanding.
Absolutely.
Here, sis. You know, we can, this ain't absolutely. You know what I'm saying? I can tell you stories about what happened, you know, what happened to you, what happened to me, you know, so that's just commendable. And it's something when people who are in a position to do that don't do that. And we talked about that a little bit. Maybe we'll get a little bit of that on the other side of the break. We only have about 20 seconds. But once again, I want to thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing your story. And also thank everyone who is interacting and comment. I really appreciate this. We're going to be right back after our station break. You are listening to 106.9 FM Awesome Radio.
Hollywood Live. On your heart.
Nick Cannon has revealed his ex-wife, Mariah Carey, is still mad at him after he gave their twins, Moroccan and Monroe, cell phones against her wishes. Well, in an Instagram clip from his talk show, the 40-year-old father of 7 revealed he gave the kids cell phones for their 10th birthday, which was in April of this year. Despite Carey saying no, no, no. In the What's Poppin' segment of the episode, Cannon explained that the former couple had originally agreed the kids would be old enough for personal phones at age 10. But then, you know, that time comes around really fast, and Mariah said, I am not going to have you Googling us on the phone and learning about all their new brothers and sisters. No, we ain't playing that. Well, they had a birthday celebration. It was an amazing party. And then when it was time to open the gifts, Nick said, I'm leaving these right here. Tell your mama I'll be back. Of course, he didn't come back. Make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Tanya Hollywood and at AURN.com.
We're 106.9 on your FM dial. Awesome Radio.
And we are back on our last segment of the U-Turn Show. I'm your host, Richard Taylor. You are listening to 106.9 FM WBIS. Sure, once again, you go to the website and download all of the apps on Google Play, Apple Store, and Alexa. And once again, feel free to call in 252-756-2008 if you have any comments or questions for our guest, Miss Krisha Fussell. And I got it right? Michelle Keisha Smith says, good job. Grace and Mercy, Tracy Best, Grace and Mercy. Each time we got stories that will save our lives. I'm proud of you. That's my best friend. Now, but I got to go back, though. Because you said something I didn't know about. I've been shot a few times. How did you get shot?
Got into an altercation, you know, me being who I am. Back then, and one thing just led to another, and it was a whole situation. But even in spite of that, God kept me. It was just, I can't say I went for bad, but I ain't never been the type of person that's I won't never be too much scared. Now you're gonna have to show me.
You ain't gonna back down.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely. I mean, back then, even now, it's not a violent type of confidence, but it's a confidence. It's a freedom in Jesus. It's a freedom in knowing who I am. It's a freedom in not being ashamed to tell my story and not having to worry about anybody having a noose to hang right. You can't shame me and bring me to a shame. You can't, make me feel that I'm less than because I know who I am in God, and it makes a difference. I am nothing, but without him, You know, he provides the way, he provides the platform. Even when you were saying about the audio and the video and things like that during the conference, I was telling you, like, well, how in the world am I supposed to promote the conference and I can't even give them a slip? And God said, we're not doing no audio and no video. This is not no circus and it's not no outside show. You have real women coming on the platform, standing in their truth, telling their truth, being flexible and sharing things that they never shared before, and you think you're gonna put no, not on my watch. You know, so it's not a thing that we're doing trying to get any money, get any accolades. Most of the time, the registration is $25, like the one coming up in November. I would encourage all the ladies in Goldsboro to attend this expo. You do not want to miss this. You don't want to miss this. It is going to be amazing. It's going to be life-changing. It's going to be informational. You know, a lot of times, you know, it's time for us to sit down as men and black women. It's time for us to sit down and have a conversation. That's why I named it When Men Talk. You know, we'll get together as women and we'll have our conversations. But now it's time for us to sit down and listen and try to figure out a way to work this thing, get the divorce rate down, try to figure out a way to co-parent, try to figure out a way to exist together in this world without it being a bunch of drama and cheating and all this stuff. But we have to get to the core of the problem, because if we don't get to the core of the problem, we don't talk and we don't have a conversation, we're going to go through life thinking that everything we as women said is right. But what do you do when you meet a man that's just been out of jail for 5 months and you get hooked up with him? How do you handle that relationship the same way you handle a man that went to college, graduated, and got a degree?
No, you don't. You can't. You can't.
How do you make a marriage last for 30 years, Richard? Through the ups and downs, the trials, the tribulations, and maybe some infidelity and all that. How do you work that?
I think Tracy Best just said it good. My God.
That's right. And I got all the thing about it between you, John, Charles, and DL. You're gonna get the chance to ask the questions, and you're gonna get the answers to these things. These guys have been married for years. You done had your struggles. You know what I'm saying? John have been locked up. You know what I mean? He know what it feel like to get out of jail. Him and DL and get hooked up with a woman. Now look, I've been out 5 months, baby. You ready to get? You know, these are the things that we need to know, that we can kind of ask those hard questions that we're not able to ask when we are in a church setting. Or, you know, you have to be have a little bit of more oof with it when you do it that way. You know what I'm saying? But in this setting, you're able to just be transparent and ask the questions, and these guys are going to give it to you straight.
Yeah, definitely, man. There's a lot of different factors that go in, especially when you're talking about, you know, guys getting out of prison. There, I think I talked about this on another platform about, you know, the mental state that you have to be in to exist in a prison. Like, a part of you has to die, because, you know, being locked up, being not able to go home, being not able to do what you want to do, have natural things, choosing your food, you know, choosing when you go to sleep, choosing what you do, providing for you. That's a natural human thing. So a part of you has to die in that cell, in that jail, to be in a good mind state. And, you know, coming out, then you have to learn how to rejuvenate that part that has been dead, you know, for so long. And then a lot of times we get thrust, you know, men, and not only men, women too, men,
absolutely,
right back in to regular life, not dealing with I would say, post-traumatic stress syndrome of being locked up. You know, there's a lot of things that happen, and not only being incarcerated, just the everyday life issues. Absolutely. Trauma, childhood trauma, witness abuse when you're growing up, being abused. You know, men and women in this day and age go through so much, and then try to put themselves together with all those issues, with all of those preconceptions, with all of those ideals that has been, you know, that has been put in you for so long.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like say you got you got a woman who's grew up in a household where, you know, no man was around, and women, you know, okay, well, I don't need a man. I just need a man for such and such and such, for some money, or, you know, I don't need a man. And then so that woman grows up with that same mentality, and then she begins to get with somebody, and vice versa.
She can't get no man.
Huh?
And then she get an issue with it why she can't keep no man.
No,
life and death lies in the power of the tongue.
Mentality can be strong if you let it. Yep. I got to hit the road in the AM, but I love you both. Keep me in your prayers. Definitely does.
All right, Bruce. Yeah.
What you call him?
Bruce. I think that's Bruce. No, that ain't. Is that Bruce?
That's
I can't help.
Brody Truck 'em slow.
Yeah, that's Bruce. But Richard, I do have one thing that I want to add that we spoke about earlier, and that was about the thing that I'm doing in January for the women. And I said, I put a post up, and I said that I needed mentors. Okay. Now I'm gonna just tell you, I was feeling some type of way. Because when I said I needed mentors, I only got 2 women from Goldsboro, Caprice Howard, I'm gonna call their name. Caprice Howard, I sure am, and Tara Thompson. And the crazy thing about it, I had 4 women. 2 of the women, they're not even from Goldsboro. It was Caprice Howard and Tara Thompson are the only 2 women from Goldsboro, North Carolina that reached out to my inbox and told me that anything that I needed them to do that they would do as far as with these girls. And let me explain something to y'all. If you have ever been in a situation, you don't have to live in the project. You could have just been in a situation where you didn't have. Okay. And you got, I see all the posts, all the trips and the new cars and the new houses and, what God has done, and you don't want to reach back and you don't want to get one of these girls and you don't want to mentor them. And like I was telling Richard, mentoring ain't about you giving them your money and and watching their children. That ain't what it's about. It's about showing them a way to do it different. Showing them how to be a blessing, showing them how that they can move from one place to another. It is, I am not my sister's keeper, I am my sister. The subtopic of that expo is, this is not your final destination. If we don't get together as Black women and reach back and get this generation of ladies and let them know that it ain't over till God say it's over. I mean, if it ain't nothing but get a list, work with them. What you want to do, get a list, may write 5 things on the list. Say, okay, this is Monday. Now I need to have 3 of these things checked off. When I check back with you on next Monday, I need to see that you accomplished some goals. You got the big house, you got the college education and the job. Now reach back and let them know, okay, baby, this was me. I am you, you are me, but I made it out, and I'm gonna let you know that this ain't it for you. There's another way that you can do this thing. Okay, it don't cost you nothing. The expo is free. So you don't have to pay nothing to come in. You're going to get food and everything else that that you've been getting, the ones that pay. The only thing that I'm asking you to is dedicate some of your time to give back to the community. Ain't nobody else doing it. They got 5 million churches in Goldsboro. I don't see nobody at church going out getting these women, knocking on the door and inviting them to come and loving them right where they are without busting them over the head with the Bible, opening their heart up and letting them know that God is able, without judging them. Without making them feel bad, helping them grow and develop mentally, physically, emotionally, and financially, and mentally.
Definitely.
And you can't, I am not going to leave this earth, Richard. And my name ain't meaning nothing but Krisha Fussell. I want one of those young girls 20 years from now say, you know what, when I was young, I remember this lady knocked on my door. And it changed my whole life. That's what I live for. That's what I live for. I live to make a difference because I know where I came from. And God allotted me more than one chance. He gave me so many do-overs, Richard. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I got to make good now. You feel me? I got to make good. And the only way I'm going to make good is I got to go back to where it all started at. And I got to give somebody else hope. I got to give another Black woman hope to let her know, baby, it ain't over. And I got receipts because the women that's going to be speaking, which is Sharon Lewis, Tracy Butler, and Sherette McCarter, I got receipts. You know what I'm saying? This ain't what nobody I got receipts. I got women that's been in the same position that you in, that's living their life, that know who they are. Do they have their struggles? Absolutely. But they've overcame. I got receipts, baby, to let you know that I ain't just talking. There's a room full of women, mentors and speakers that's coming from the same place that you coming from. And I don't mean to take up my last little bit of time, but I need all y'all women from Goldsboro, North Carolina. If you want to do something, if you want to make a difference, if you want to go back in and you want your name to mean something, when you stand before God, you want him to say, well done. my good and faithful servant. If you want to be a blessing and say, you know, maybe my life hasn't always been the best, but I can take what the devil meant for my bad and I can go share it and I can turn it around. Because them girls, they need us. And without us, y'all, they're not going to make it. So I need my inbox to be blowing up. I need y'all. So, you know, it is not even about being financially successful. It's all about a mental thing. You know what I mean? I need you mentally prepared and mentally successful, but that you have an idea where you're going. Even if you're working at McDonald's, baby, you still know who you are. You know, please inbox me.
Preach. So why do you think, like I said, we talked about it. Why do you think some people, I'm not going to say a lot of people, but a lot of people, are afraid to go back when they reach a certain level of success? Why, you know, just your opinion, you know, not.
This is the thing, Richard. I'm gonna just tell the truth. I'm gonna just tell the truth. This is the thing. People get so wrapped up in themselves, and to me, this is what I'm saying. I'm not gonna say they don't never give back, but they only gonna give back to the level of their understanding.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? In order for me to know it's a dire straight need, I have to be I have to be alert on what's going on to know that it's a state of emergency for these black men and these young black women. Okay. I don't think they're conscious enough because they don't want to be conscious. You know how the crab mentality. Look, y'all, I got out the bucket. Y'all, the rest of y'all figure it out on your own. They so wrapped up in themselves that I just don't think that they have the time or the energy or they even have the calling. You and I both know that this is a call.
Yes.
This is not something for just, oh, you a good person. This is a call. You know, many are called, but few were chosen. This here is a call. And God has to prick in your heart to give you a desire to go back. Because who wants to go back in the ditch after they got out? Unless God send them back to the ditch.
You got to save them, though. You got to go back to those who are lost, because what's the point of you making out if you leaving everybody in the same position you in? So
there is no point. But this is the thing, that's why I say it's a column. There is no point, because you know what, though, we as black people in this community, we feel like because we arrived in, you know, this is all we're gonna do. There is no point because they don't see the point, because they ain't looking for the point, because they don't care. Now that's just the truth.
Yeah, it's a level of disconnect. You know what I'm saying? They disconnect.
Absolutely.
A lot of people are disconnected. Tamala Cooper, I hope I'm saying that right. Tamala or Tamala Cooper said that's right. So
and as black women, Richard, I don't mean to cut you off. As black women, this is a state of emergency. This is a state of emergency. We have to get off our high horses, out our pretty houses, and we have to go back to these projects, y'all. And we got to be a blessing to our children's life. Depend on it. Do you know some of these 20-year-olds gonna grow up, and our daughters, my 11-year-old daughter, that's gonna be what they have to look up to? Come on now. We're in a state of emergency.
Definitely. So
come on, I mean, it's time.
Yeah,
it's time.
We got about 4 minutes left on the radio. Is there anything that you want to leave the people before you go, or any information that you might want to give before you go?
Okay, I have about two things. The conference is November the 20th. That's at the Elks Lounge in Goldsboro, North Carolina. I am going to post the flyer on my page, and I hope Richard will post it on his. All you have to do is cash out me your registration, which is only $25. Your shirt size, I add you to the list. This is really, really important, ladies, for us to attend this conference, because we have to grow together. And as far as with my mentor, I'm staying on this mentoring thing because I need y'all. I need y'all ladies to step up, okay? I need y'all to get involved with this movement so we can get these ladies, and we can do, if we only save one, you know, that's more than enough. I mean, and if it's something that you're not ready to do, search your heart, you know. We're going to need volunteers, you know, to mentor. Like I said, everything is free. I need y'all to be mindful that at one point in time in your life, you needed somebody to, outside of your mama and your friends. At one point in your life, you needed somebody to reach back and say, baby, it's going to be all right. You can make it. It ain't over till God say it's over. I know you don't know because you don't understand, but God sent somebody here just to let you know there's another way to do this thing, you know? And I just need y'all to sign up and come together with me so we can do what we got to do as women. We are black women. If we don't do it, who gonna do it? So I done put the challenge out there. That's my time. I done put it out there, and I'm so adamant about this. And I know I got the conference coming up in November, and I want y'all to come. But this thing that I got going on in January, I'm going to need 100% participation because I'm going to have 60 women there, and I'm going to need me about at least 40 mentors. Okay.
And mentor, once again, it doesn't mean what? Doesn't mean giving out the money or watching.
Giving out no money, taking care of not me. Now I'm just telling you about me now. With my whoever I mentor now, I probably do it all because that's just who God called me to be. You know what I'm saying? That's just who I am. You know, any area that I can help, I'm gonna help. But what I need you to do is be able to get with these women, have those hard conversations. Let them be comfortable if they can call you if they're going through relationship things. Set some goals and dreams and aspirations for these ladies. Help them execute and hold them accountable for the goals and the things that y'all set together. Just be present.
Just be present.
Just be present.
Yeah. Wow. That's good. Keita Isla said, "Let's go." So
let's go. That's she on my team. Yeah. Her is me, Tia May, Tracy Butler, Sharon Lewis, Keisha Smith, Sherette McCarter. All of us, we come together and we do what we can do to try to make this happen. And just a small group of us. But I know that God told me, I made a promise to God that if he send me, that I'll go through hell or high waters. And the only thing I'm asking you to do is find some time and find some space in your heart to be willing to be a blessing. That's it.
And all of those women that you mentioned, I believe I know all of them personally, maybe except for one, but all of those women do have a heart, you know, for the young generation coming behind them. And, you know, they set some great examples, just like you're setting. So I know if they get in contact or if they get a hold of some of those young minds out there, they're going to be in some good hands. And
I got one more thing, Richard.
Let's go.
One more thing.
Let's go.
This is what I'm saying. This platform that we're talking about, from woman to woman, it is not a platform. There's no boundaries on this platform, okay? Now, we ain't doing no mess. I'm just going to keep that 100. We ain't doing no mess. But if you are a woman and you got a story to tell and you want to be a part of a movement that you can be free in God and you can unapologetically stand in who you are and tell your truth and be a blessing to another woman, inbox me. If you got any ideas, if you got any suggestions, if you got somewhere we can go outside of Goldsboro to do the conference, call me.
We got 30 more seconds, but we're going to keep it going live on Facebook. But the radio station's finna go off. Keep it live. But Tamala Cooper said, "I'm a certified youth mentor." So you can go. She said she would love to be involved. So
Tamala, inbox me, honey. I need all the help I can get. I'm serious about this thing, and we need to get it jumping.
I do got to close, but thank you all for listening. This has been the U-Turn Show, 106.9 FM. Make sure you tune in with us next week. Just 1 second.
Lord, I need you to smile on me. Lord, I'm pleading. Tell me where you want me to go. I want to be right with you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. So we still live. So yeah, pronounce. Okay, I was Tamala. Okay, like Tamala man. Okay, I'm sorry. I asked you a while ago. You just put me on, but yeah. So it looks like you already have somebody who's interested in being involved. So just keep the call out there, because once again, I know. I'm out, in the communities all over, and I see the state of, young women and young men. But of course, that's my job. But I see a lot of the disarray, the loss, just the disillusion, the lostness, and I'd be like, wow, we need somebody to come and shake them up. So, man, I am grateful for what you're doing, and I'm actually excited to see where this is going to go.
We ain't gonna stop, Richard. And once we leave Goldsboro, I got the one in November. We're gonna be at the flyer for that. Then I have the one in January. And just on a short note, I will be 50 years old on January the 24th. And I opted out to taking a vacation to Vegas, you know, doing my thing, you know, just having my 50th birthday. I may be having a little get together with my friends too, having the expo. I'm going to have the expo on January the 22nd, and that's going to be my birthday present to myself. I cannot think of a better way to bring in 50 than being a blessing to someone else. Yes. You know? Yeah. So we're going to have birthday cake because it's going to be my birthday. And that's my present that I'm giving to myself, Richard.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure that's going to be a very, very well deserved birthday. And, you know, very satisfying because, you know, I think that the more you do what you're doing, you know, then the more people are going to get involved because, you know, you're doing it from the heart, from experience, from passion. So, you know, whatever you do for God will stand, as they say.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, definitely we need, Tracy Bell said, we need to help these young women. They're doing more for less. I want to be, wow. These young
we're strong, Richard. We're strong now.
Okay, we need to. They doing more for less. What does that mean? They doing more for less.
That means that the conversation we had the other night, and we were saying that, you know, when we was coming up, you know, what's going on? When we was coming up, you know, we were all about, you know, the dollar, you know, even though, you know, a man kind of won't really this and that, as long as he can kind of pay like he weigh, we kind of went with it. I said, but at this point right here, I said, they ain't even doing that no more. I said, they end up in the projects with these dudes, you know, that don't have any love, you know. And when my other friend said, well, we was looking for love too. I said, yeah, but we thought the money was the love.
Okay.
You see what I'm coming from? We thought as long as the money was the love, but now they at the place now where they ain't got to have no money. You can't got to buy no meal or nothing. You know? They're not saying that it is right.
I kind of figured that that's what you said, Trace, but I had to, you know what I mean? I had to kind of read a little bit more. So, but yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. They doing more for less. Ain't that something?
It is compromising. Let me tell you something. The best thing that I ever did for myself was look myself in the mirror and told the truth. It's the best thing I ever did to myself. And I said it at my last conference. That was the best thing I ever did for myself, told the unapologetic truth about what I saw. And I'm not talking about, I was talking to Angie on the phone before we came in. I said, you know that pretty box? You know the one with the pretty ribbon on it? You know the one I'm talking about. Yeah. They come in with the heels on and the nice church suit all put together. You know, I'm talking about the pretty box. Yeah. But then when you open it up, it's just as messy as on the inside. I said, them pretty box days, they over for me. I'm cleaning from the inside out. Okay. You know?
Okay.
So you lose so much of yourself, self-respect, self-worth. I mean, the things that we used to do for money, you can't buy. You can't get back.
Yeah.
You know, I compromise. Right. So much of myself.
Yeah. And we don't know how much we lose, you know, when we, you know, do those things. But one thing about it, though, God is able to restore everything that the devil tried to take from you, you know.
He will. And he honors charity more than anything else. And I need y'all to get on board with me, these women, and let's get this thing done. I went to Richard. We talked about the men's conference. I said, well, I don't have a man to MC. I said, I really wanted a man because, you know, it's a men's thing. He said, sure, I do it. It ain't hard.
Yeah.
It ain't hard.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. I'm looking forward to it. And the inward transformation, Keita Isla said, I thank each and every one of you, you know, for being on this show, and definitely, you know, just stay in touch with my sister, man. Stay in touch with her. Anybody who's out there who sees this show on a later date, you know, inbox her, Krisha Fussell, Miss Tamala, Krisha. I think she sent
me a friend request. I just got it. I just didn't accept because we on live. Tamala, I got you, baby.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I thought she was the perfect choice. Thank you so much, Tracy. I really appreciate you for checking in with me. I'm definitely, you know, honored to be a part of the family because, you know, I saw y'all out there. Like I said, I saw y'all out there that day, and I said, well, shoot, I got about 30 more minutes to get out there to the plate sale that y'all was having. And I got out there, all the plates was gone.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? So I still you know, that definitely good to connect with you though. But you know what I'm saying? You don't see that a lot, man. People doing stuff, you know, for other people, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of people do stuff for themselves, plate stuff, you know, to bring in money for themselves. But, you know, that just spoke to y'all heart, you know, to be out there selling plates for other people so y'all can, you know, make something free, you know, get something free for the young ladies. So, man, I'm proud of you. I can't, when the next plate sale, y'all got to do it because I didn't get a plate last.
We have one coming up in the next couple of weeks, Richard. And this is the thing about a lot of people don't know is that because even with the conferences that we charge for, we only charge $25. So you got to get the venue, you got to get the food, you got to order the shirts. The last shirts, I had a name on the sleeve and everything, you know. So to be honest, we normally have to come out of our pockets. You know, even with this women's conference that we're doing, even this one that we did in November, you know what I'm saying? That was pocket money. I haven't even really sold enough tickets to even reserve the building. Me and Tia paid for that out of our pocket. That wasn't nothing that we raised. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying me and my team, we get together and we do what we have to do to get it done. You know, so it's not about, you know, anyway, you bless me, Lord, I'll be satisfied. Now, I don't know where He's taking me at. He said, don't despise small beginnings, you know. Yeah. So wherever He take me at, I'm along for the ride. But this is not about trying to come up and get a couple dollars. You know, that ain't what we doing around here. We trying to be a blessing for real. If it take our dime, we're going to spend our dime. Do you know how many gifts we gave away at that last conference? We gave away microwave. Shaq donated a brand new microwave. We had so many $25, $15, $25 gas cards. We had pocketbooks. I know we had about 20 gifts we gave away.
Yeah.
Brand new stuff, not no used mess, brand new stuff that we just gave away. Pocketbooks, necklaces, jewelries, journals. I mean, a lot of people donated. You know, my team donated, they gave, you know, and you paid $25, you got you a shirt, you got a life-changing message, you know what I'm saying? You won free gifts, you got you something good to eat, and you know, you got uplifted in your spirit. So it's not, we're not doing this, we're not making nothing. And even with this thing in January, whatever we short, we're gonna come together and we're gonna make it happen. We ain't begging, we ain't blumming, we ain't borrowing. We just asking you to find it in your heart to be a part. But if you don't, that's fine, because God started, the work that God started, He gonna finish it.
Now, do y'all have a building already for January?
Well, I'm kind of torn. I don't have a building yet. What I'm thinking about doing is I'm gonna see the guy that's doing the Elks Lounge now. It is not completely ready. Okay, he's doing some remodeling. So he advised me that it will be ready by November the 20th. So I'm kind of on the fence. So what I want to do is, I was thinking about Herman Park Center, right? Okay. But if everything goes according to plan, and I see that, you know, because see, the Pier 34 was good, but the space wasn't. You know, it just with the COVID and everything that's going on. We did the temperature checks and the masks and that, but we're trying to get space where we can spread out. So if everything go according to plan in November and the venue and everything is, you know, like he promised it'll be, then I may just go ahead and book with him on the 22nd. If not, then I'm gonna go to Herman Park Center. So that's pretty much the whole up. Because really with the last plate sale, you know, we did good. We made almost $1,000.
Yeah.
So we said what we're gonna do is that we're gonna flip it.
You got to flip it. Gotta flip it, make that 1,000 too.
Yeah, sell us some more plates. So I just want everything for these ladies. I mean, I'm excited about the conference in November, and I don't want to, you know, opt it out, because I do want y'all ladies to register to get some of this good stuff to help you get this man married, this man hold this man, and then be a better version of yourself. Okay, all of that. But this one in January, it's I want this stuff to be eloquent. I'm not doing no half step, and I'm going all out with the decorations. We're going all out with the food, the shirts. We're going to have the balloons, the tables decorated. We're going to show them exactly who they are in God and let them know that they're worth it. And it don't cost you nothing, baby. All you got to do is show up and have your heart open and be willing to receive all these blessings that God has this tailor-made just for you, because you know what? It's going to be just for them, because when we get out of these cars, we're going to each project. And we're going to knock on the door. We ain't taking no names. We don't care about my sister needed. That ain't what we doing. We being led by God. So every door that we knock on, that's going to be a door that God sent us to. And He's coming for them. And, you know, we're gonna prepare a table. you know, so they can sit and eat and express themselves. So we got a panel of people that's going to be doing Q&A. Then we have our speakers. It's going to be awesome. I even have a lady that I've never met in my life that wants to come to the conference, and she wrote a book. She wanted to give away free copies of her book at the conference and told me, letting her know whatever I needed her to pay. And I ain't never seen her day in my life. And I got folk writing goals, brother. I've been knowing all my life that because it's me, they think, oh, no, honey, let me tell you something. Don't let nobody stop your blessing.
Don't be too hard on God to send the people that you need, you know. Like I said, it comes from complete strangers. I'm a witness to that. So
yeah, because I be seeing you a lot too. It does. It just amazes me. I was like, she wrote a book. She wants to give away, not that she wants to sell it. She said, I want to come to the conference and I want to set up as a vendor, and I want to give away free copies of my book.
Wow, that's big. That's big. That's big.
And then I was telling her about the conference in November. She said, I have a sorority meeting. Then she said, but can I send you a cash app to pay for somebody else to come?
Hey man, that's what I'm saying. Like God, you do stuff from the heart. When you do stuff, you know, out of service, you know, God's gonna provide for you. So
He always does.
Yeah.
But I just want y'all to get on board. I'm gonna leave this alone, but you know, I'm gonna say it one more time for the road.
All right.
Anybody that would like to be a mentor, please inbox me.
You got it.
We kind of pretty much covered everything about how we was gonna do it, what it was gonna be done. You don't have to have any money. We're not asking you for nothing but a little bit of your time, and you to dedicate some time to reaching back, you know, to the next generation and try to pull us up. You know, that's pretty much what we're about. So if you're interested, you can inbox me, Tracy, Keita, Sharetti, you know, Tia, you know, all of us, you know, just anybody to let us know that you're definitely in. And I did want to give a shout out to Caprice Howard and Tara Thompson because they inboxed me, immediately. And I just want to let them know that I see you and I appreciate you, you know?
Definitely. Thank y'all. I love you, Keita, as well. Thank you, Tracy Best, Angela Wynn, Keita Isla, Letta Taylor, Angela Wynn, Tamala Cooper, everybody who joined, Sharon Lewis, Doug Brody, everybody Lauren Wynn, Keisha Smith, everybody who joined us tonight. We thank y'all for y'all interaction. And make sure y'all share the video so we can get some young ladies, some mentors.
Yes.
Woman to woman. We coming. Joyce, we coming to a town and we knocking at your door, definitely. We'll sit up here all night, but I definitely want to thank you for joining. Once again, we're going to keep in touch. And if there's anything I can help you out, just let me know. You got my number. My line is always open.
And I appreciate you for just allowing me the opportunity to stand in my truth. You know, that's what we're all about, standing in the truth, telling the truth, and reaching out, trying to be a blessing to someone else, you know. And I just appreciate you creating this platform and just being who you are, you know. So I want to thank you for, you know, like I said, allowing me the opportunity just to, you know, just to be present. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. We're going to see y'all next week, 10 p.m. Awesome Radio, Facebook Live, Awesome Radio, Taylor House Publishing. Well, we thank y'all for joining, y'all, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great night. Thank you again, Keisha.
Thank you.
All right.